What is going on, guys? I have some very big news for you. I'm getting married. Because I just read an article and it says marriage is still the main way for... Oh, sorry. It's not the main way for men to get rich. It's the main way for women to get rich. Sorry, I misread that and almost fucked up. Let me check out this article though. And by the way, guys, hang out till the end because I have a juicy little piece that 100% supports this article at the end. But we have a different article detailing the world's 7 most wealthy women and how they got their wealth. Stay tuned for that. A new survey found, and by the way, thank you to my brother Coach Greg Adams, who I had an awesome live stream with yesterday, for sharing this article on his Twitter. If you haven't checked out Coach Greg Adams, go check him out online. A new survey found that most women enter the elusive 1% through marrying a rich spouse. Well, tickle me fucking pink, I didn't know that. How could that possibly be that women marry to get rich? And I'm not saying all women marry to get rich. There's a lot of women who marry because the guy gives them good dick or makes them laugh or just generally supports them in life, and that's actually what they want rather than being a greedy whore. But, you know, don't shoot the messenger. Messengers... I didn't get a lot of sleep last night either. I got home like 2 a.m. Researchers at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte took a look at the 1995 to 2017 Survey of Consumer Finances reports to examine gender income patterns. So guys, this is basically, you know, there's been no change in this over the last 2 years, even though it's 2019, about to be 2020. So let's say, let's call it a 14 to 15 year period up until now that this covers. They saw that American households who were part of the 1%, which meant making more than $845,000 per year, only 15% of them needed the woman's income to cross that elite threshold. And they also found that only 5% of women in those crazy rich families made enough money to qualify for the 1%. So that's 5 women out of every 100 men. And the fact that there's 5 women in every 100 men that are earning that kind of money proves that it can be done. So shut the fuck up, feminists. And guys, whoever is asking about the Coach Greg Adams interview, I will be posting that up later today on my channel as well, a mirror of it. But for now, it's on his channel. If you want to check it out on my channel, hang tight for later today. And if you also have any questions, please hit me up with a super chat. There's just so many comments, I can't get through them all, and I want to attend to everyone. You know, for obvious reasons, you know, I want to respect the people that, you know, are making the contribution to help this channel. So thank you to everyone for everything that you do, including my amazing moderators. All right. So only 5% of women in those crazy rich families made enough money to qualify for the 1%. Instead, the study concluded that women mostly enter 1% households through marriage by gaining access to their spouse's income. And child support from their spouse when they decide to leave. And alimony from their spouse when they decide to leave. And a divorce settlement from their spouse when they decide to leave. Researchers also saw that the gender gap amongst the rich hasn't closed since the 1990s. We know that women face a lot of barriers reaching top executive and CEO positions. Yeah. And one of those barriers is not starting their own damn company. Jill Jaworski, a sociology professor. Oh, yeah. She's totally balanced. She's totally not a feminist retard. A sociology professor at the University of North Carolina and co-author of the study wrote in a press release, "This study shows that the glass ceiling is more extensive than we previously thought." Wait for it, guys. And you'll see what I'm saying about how she's a feminist retard in a second. It extends to nearly all elite positions, even self-employment. Wait. So you're telling me that if a woman employs herself, then there's a glass ceiling preventing her being at the top of her own company? This is how insane feminists are. This is how insane feminists are. Like, how can you even come up with something so stupid, right? It's like me saying, hey, I started my own company, but I've got a vagina, so I'm not the head of my own company, even though I started it and run it by myself. This is how stupid these feminists are. And this is a sociology professor. This is a university professor with a PhD, permanent head damage. So, if you encounter a woman who has a PhD in sociology, gender studies, psychology, any combination of the above, or anything that involves any sort of intersectionality studies or oppression studies or anything like that, write them off. They're feminists. They're gonna fuck you later in life. It's not worth it. It's a red flag right there. It's like, that's like a matador in a fucking bullpen being like, hey, I'm over here. It's a red flag. Yavorsky and her colleagues, no doubt feminist colleagues, noted that even though American women pursue postgraduate degrees more than men, that's still not enough to reach 1%. Yeah, because A, you don't do as many hours, you don't want to work as hard, and you do bullshit degrees. That's part of the problem. But we don't want to talk about that, do we? Because that's a really inconvenient fact, which might mean that the government wouldn't legislate to shoehorn you into the position of CEO in someone else's company anymore. You don't get a free ride anymore. You'll actually have to work for your money. Women also experience a number of entry barriers into self-employment. For fuck's sake. So apparently there's a number of significant entry barriers that prevent women from becoming self-employed. Nothing that makes it difficult for men who are self-employed. I mean, that's a walk in the park. You just go, hey, I decided I'm going to quit my job today and become self-employed, so I'm just going to smoke a fat cigar and sit on my yacht and watch the dollars roll in because I have a penis. This is how dumb these feminists are. This is why you should never marry one or cohabit with one. Get into a relationship with one. Let them die as a walking egg cemetery with a significant selection of cats while you sit there with a significant number of shares in cat food companies, smoking a cigar and watching the money roll in. Maybe more feminists should buy shares in cat food companies so they could be self-employed investors. That wouldn't be so hard now, would it? So apparently women experience a number of entry barriers into self-employment, this feminist retard sociology professor Jill Yavorsky said. And once they become self-employed or start their own business, they experience additional gender-based obstacles to growing their businesses. Does that include women that start businesses that only cater to women? I'm just interested to know, because if that's the case, then, you know, maybe she needs to start dismantling matriarchy in amongst her own client base. Like, do all of her female customers have internalized misogyny or something, that they are making it hard for this woman? Like, ladies, just letting you know, if you're going to start a business catering specifically and only to women, you are going to be dealing with the most difficult customers that waste their money on other shit, that buy on emotion rather than facts and logic. You're going to be dealing with customers that probably don't have any money left because they spent the majority of it on handbags and going on holidays to the Congo so they can do monkey double backflips all through the tree canopies, if you know what I mean. She reports that women have a harder time than men when it comes to securing bank loans and venture capital funding for their businesses. So let me just cover off on that for just a moment. Because last time I checked, venture capitalists don't invest in shit ideas. They don't invest in flawed business models. They don't invest in people that have a proven history of financial mismanagement, which more often than not women do tend to have a history of financial mismanagement. I mean, what worse financial mismanagement is there than going into hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loan debt to do multiple degrees, and yet you're like, oh, I'm still finding myself. I don't know what I want to do when I finish college. Like, that is the definition of insanity to me. That is just beyond comprehension that anyone could be so stupid to waste 7 or 8 years of their life, spend all this money, and then come out and be like, oh, I just want to marry a rich guy. But by that time you've hit the wall, your head's full of this mind virus. And it is a mind virus. Don't take my word for it. Sky News Australia used what was it? The mental illness of feminist ideology. They were the ones that said, I'm just being a parrot. I'm just repeating what they said. Right? I'm allowed to do that, right? Feminists repeat what their sociology professors say all the time. So why is it not cool for me to repeat what the mainstream media says? I'm just saying, right? Don't shoot the messenger here. Now, harder time than men when it comes to securing bank loans. So let me tell you something, guys. I used to work in lending. Home loan lending, personal lending. Let me tell you a few basic principles of lending. You don't lend to people that spend everything they earn. You don't lend to people that spend money on bullshit. You don't lend to people that have got a significant amount of credit card debt that they don't pay down. You don't lend to people who think they're entitled to a loan, because if they think they're entitled to a loan, then they're going to think they're entitled to not have to pay that loan back. And when you have people that are very entitled and think they don't have to pay loans back, guess what? They don't pay back credit cards. They don't pay back home loans, or they make late payments, which affects their credit, which affects, surprise, surprise, their ability to secure a bank loan. Congratulations, women. You brought it upon yourselves. And by the way, to any of you ladies out there, and I use the term ladies specifically for a reason, to any of you ladies out there who are not feminists, to any of you ladies out there who do look after yourselves, to any of you ladies out there that actually have a brain and realize that men deserve respect when they're acting respectably also, to any of you ladies out there who understand that you need to take responsibility for your own actions, to any of you ladies out there who don't waste their money and don't buy cars on finance when you can't afford it just because you like the look of it, who don't get themselves into credit card debt, and if they do, they pay it off by sacrificing. So to you small group of ladies, right, thank you for enabling me to not have to make women a blanket statement with respect to things like. Sorry guys, the phone overheated because it's sitting on the visor in the sun at the moment, unfortunately, so I just had to cool it down with the aircon for a second. I know, technology, right? But shout out to all of my brothers, shout out to all of them, all of you men who are financially responsible. Shout out to all my brothers who take accountability for their actions. Shout out to all of the men there who do what that small group of call ladies do. All right? Because most women are feminists, some are ladies, and they're not the majority, unfortunately. So let me get back into the zone here, people. Let me get back into the zone, right? Money expert Lynette Calfani-Cox says she's not surprised by these numbers. It was disheartening, she said. And she's the author of Zero Debt, The Ultimate Guide to Financial Freedom. Hallelujah. That's exactly what the trick is. It's exactly what the trick is. I'm an entrepreneur and I make many hundreds of thousands of dollars, even though I'm not quite 1%, and only 5% of all women crack that financial code, she says. Though she notes that women aren't as competitive as men when it comes to money. Well, imagine my fucking surprise. Imagine my surprise finding out that women are not as competitive when it comes to men in terms of earning money. Jeez, far out. By the way, if this cuts out again, please just bear with me. So the vast majority of women are way more concerned about being well compensated for the value they bring as an employee or entrepreneur. They're more concerned about having enough money to pay for a roof over their families' heads. And that's exactly right, guys. That's exactly what it is. So I said for all of you at the start of this video, I said, if you hang tight to the end, I got some juiciness for you. And I wasn't lying. Who are the world's richest women? Well, surprise, surprise, Mackenzie Bezos, right? When the world's richest man and his wife decided to divorce, the numbers were always going to be big. And so it proved this week when Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and his wife Mackenzie agreed the terms of their split. Mackenzie will keep a 4% stake in the online retail giant. Her stake is worth $35.6 billion on its own, making her the world's richest woman and the 24th richest person in the world. But who are the other women at the top of the global rich list? And how did they get there? It's a really good question. By the way, I'm going to you gentlemen who have dropped a super chat so far, I am so sorry. It's actually wiped it off the screen. So if you could just go at Sydney MGTOW and then your message again and put that in the comments, I will keep an eye out for those and I'll read them out, so you don't have to donate again. I'm sorry about that, guys. I appreciate you. So Francois Betancourt Myers, who's she? Well, she's worth $49.3 billion, making her the world's 15th richest person. And I'm sorry if there's any noise from this aircon here. I'm actually just going to... This is so shit. This is so shit. Sorry, guys. Sorry about the steering wheel, but it's either that or this cuts out again. Hang on. Let me see what I can do here. Motherfucker. Let me give this a quick blast. See, this is the thing about live streams. You can't plan it. You cannot plan it. Hope you guys are all having a good day. By the way, men, if you have any friends, any brothers that are going through a tough time over Christmas, if you've got any friends that have gone through a divorce, if they're not seeing their kids, make sure you call them. Make sure you give them a call. Reach out to these brothers. Let them know that you care. Let them know that you're there for them. Ah, fucking hell. So yeah, guys, I'm so sorry. The phone keeps heating up. I'm just going to smash through this as quick as I can so that it doesn't keep happening. But guys, if you've got any friends who are going through a tough time, if they're separated, divorced, not getting to see their kids over Christmas, then please reach out to them. Let them know that you're here. Insist that they come out for a coffee, whatever. Anyway, Francois Betancourt Myers. Who is she? The French heiress to the L'Oreal cosmetics fortune, who along with her family owns 33% of the company. The 65-year-old inherited her wealth from her mother, Liliane Betancourt, who died in September 2017, aged 94. The two had been estranged and entered into a long dispute in 2007. Ms. Betancourt Myers filed a lawsuit over concerns that her mother was being exploited by members of her entourage amid declining health, but they reconciled in the years before their mother's death. I'm very curious to know whether her mother inherited her fortune and stake in the company. Ms. Betancourt Myers is also an academic and has published books on Greek gods and Jewish-Christian relations. An academic. Interesting. Net worth $44.4 billion, putting her 17th on the world's rich list. Who is she? The 69-year-old is the only daughter. So this chick is Alice Walton. She's $44.4 billion, putting her 17th on the world's rich list. The 69-year-old is the only daughter of Sam Walton, the founder of US supermarket giant Walmart. Unlike her two brothers, she has moved away from the family company and focused on the arts, becoming the chairman of the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art in the family's hometown of Bentonville, Arkansas. Mackenzie Bezos. Net worth, 35.6 billion. This is the value of her stake in Amazon alone, but her true net worth is likely to be even higher. Keep an eye on the Forbes 2020 rich list to see how much higher. Who is she? The 48-year-old has 4 children with the Amazon founder whom she married in 1993 after they met while working together at a hedge fund. The Californian was one of Amazon's first employees. Having joined as an accountant, she has published 2 well-reviewed fiction books and trained under author Toni Morrison, who said she was one of her best ever students. Ms. Bezos, who was born Mackenzie Tuttle, also set up an anti-bullying organization, Bystander Revolution, which encourages the simple habits of kindness, courage, and inclusion. Geez, it sounds uncannily like something that a feminist would say, but that's none of my business. So, Jacqueline Mars, net worth $23.9 billion, the 33rd richest person in the world in the pre-Mackenzie Bezos era. This also applies to the other women below on this list. Who is she? 79-year-old owns a third of Mars, the world's largest confectionery company, which was set up by her grandfather Frank in 1911. She worked for the family firm for almost 20 years and stayed on the board until 2016. Now she's described as a philanthropist, sitting on boards for the Washington National Opera and the National Archives, among others. Another fact you may not know about Mars: it is one of the largest manufacturers of pet food in the US. Well, no wonder she's so rich, because that cat food market share is like skyrocketing. Yan Huiyan, I think that's how you pronounce it. Net worth $22.1 billion, making her China's richest woman and the world's 42nd richest person. Who is she? The 37-year-old owns a majority stake in the Chinese property giant Country Garden Holdings, which has ridden the wave of China's building boom. And of course, the majority of people doing the building in China are men, so she can thank men for her wealth. According to its website, Yan, a graduate of Ohio State University, inherited most of her 57% share in the company from her father. Surprise, surprise. Suzanne Klassen. I'm just going to put this on the air vents again, but over this side this time. Oh shit, that's warm. By the way, can you drop a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly right now? And a 2 if it's really noisy from the aircon. Okay, cool. I'm gonna turn the aircon down a little bit. Thank you for that, Mac. But alright, I'm gonna keep going just like this. Susan Clatton, net worth $21 billion, which puts her at 46th in the world. Who is she? The second European on the list. The 56-year-old German has a mixture of cars and pharmaceuticals to thank for her wealth. She inherited 50% of chemical company Altana AG when her parents died, while she and her brother own almost 50% of BMW. She has since taken Altana private, making it all hers, as well as buying up stakes in a number of other companies, from wind power to graphite production. Lauren Powell Jobs. Net worth $18.6 billion, making her the world's 54th richest person. Who is she? The widow of the co-founder of Apple, Steve Jobs. She and her family inherited $20 billion in stakes in Apple and Disney when her husband died. Since then, the 55-year-old has gone on to invest some of the money in journalism, taking a majority stake in The Atlantic magazine, as well as investing in non-profit organizations non-profit publications Mother Jones and ProPublica. She also invested in a coding school. Hey, she took our advice to learn to code. She also invested in a coding school and set up the Emerson Collective that works for immigration and education reform. In May 2018, Ms. Powell Jobs spent $16.8 million on a 6-bedroom San Francisco mansion with views of the Golden Gate Bridge. Cool. So, let me just check something quickly here, right? Because I'd like to share with you the name, so you can do your... I'd like to share with you the name of the world's highest paid CEO. Alright, so you can go do your research. So you can show feminists that their gender wage gap and their glass ceiling is bullshit, and that if they want to be a genuinely strong independent woman and they want to have all of this money and they want to be high flyers and they want to be at the top of the game and have no one standing in their way, well, they can just start their own company. Start their own company. They don't need to borrow money from other people, they just need to have a good idea and apply it. So where are we here? Here we go. Her name is Denise, that's D-E-N-I-S-E, Coates, C-O-A-T-E-S. Now Denise Coates, and that's the multi-billionaire founder and joint CEO of, which company is it? Gambling company Bet365. She's taken home a staggering $467 million for the last financial year, ending in March. The huge sum was disclosed earlier this week. By the way, this was published in late 2018, so this is referencing last year. The huge sum was disclosed when the online-only bookmaker published its accounts. The Australian Financial Review dividends on her large shareholdings in the company. Her pay is widely reported as the highest amount recently paid to a CEO. It was $84.6 million higher than last year. It easily dwarfed Australia's highest paid CEOs. Domino's pizza boss Don Meij, who got $36.8 million. Westfield co-CEOs Peter and Stephen Lowy, $25.9 million. And Macquarie Bank CEO Nicholas Moore, $25.2 million. Ms. Coates, 51, is co-CEO of Bet365 with her brother John. The company is privately held rather than listed on the stock exchange and owned by Ms. Coates and members of her family, including John and her father Peter. Because of the family's control of the board, it has effective control over the sums paid to Ms. Coates. Inspired by her father's small betting shops, she founded the online company in a car park 18 years ago. Her prediction was that online was the future of betting. So there we go, 18 years ago she did that. So she's been working for 20 years to get to this point. But yet these feminist retards with a PhD at the age of 27 in gender studies expect to be getting paid $1 million a year by the time they're 30. Get the fuck out of here. Make the money yourself. Ms. Coates has a degree in econometrics, which is the application of statistical methods to analyze economic data, from Sheffield University. What do you know? A lady with a useful degree that earns a lot of money. Who would have thought that that would correlate? The company itself posted a gross profit of £2.45 billion, or $4.3 billion for the financial year. Australia, where Bet365 has been active for 6 years, contributed to this figure. Bet365 has used Hollywood actor Samuel L. Jackson to heavily promote its wagering website to Australians. It is up against stiff competition from other online-focused bookmakers such as Sportsbet, William Hill Australia, CrownBet, and Ladbrokes. So this woman is genuinely and actually strong and independent. I'm gonna see if she's married. Let's see. Let's see if Denise is married or single. British billionaire businesswoman. Children, 5, including 4 adopted. So what she's saying is that after her first child, she couldn't have any more, so she had to adopt them. Look, I know I'm kind of jumping to conclusions here, and I could be wrong. Let me check out the Wikipedia, see what's going on here. So she's got, okay, so she's got a spouse, personal life, 5 children, including 4 that in March 2014 were reported as being recently adopted from the same family. So, yeah, it would seem that she was maybe unable to have kids or didn't want to have any more at a certain age, so kind of took that route. But she drives an Aston Martin with personalized number plates bearing her initials. Good for you, Denise. Good for you for starting your own family. For starting your own company not making your wealth through divorce raping someone, and doing a useful degree, unlike most of the feminists out there complain about patriarchy and not being able to get paid, you know, a couple of $100,000 a year for being a lawyer, even though the legal firm is saturated with women. Ladies, maybe you should have done economics instead. Although that wouldn't have been very helpful, because Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez did economics, and look how that turned out for her. But maybe you should have done economics at a reputable university, not Boston University, because that's where AOC and some other nut jobs have come out of. But do a useful degree. Do a degree where you're going to get skills that are in high demand, that people are actually going to pay a premium for, because they're in short supply. It's really not difficult, guys. Really not difficult. Just gonna flick through here and see if I can see any color from any super chats here. If I can't, it means that most of them happened before everything crashed on me. So hopefully I can find it. Damn it. So let's guys, let me go to these highlighted comments. I'm gonna read all of the ones that are highlighted to me, because I don't know which ones are from super chats or not, but I appreciate you guys that did super chat. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Ultra Testosterone says, Sydney MGTOW, don't take shit from feminists, bro. 100% ultra testosterone. By the way, speaking of testosterone, go check out testosteronevalley.com. It's my new website. I want to encourage you guys to get your testosterone level checked and do something about it. Don't inject testosterone, because that's just going to tell your body, oh, hey, I'm producing testosterone too fast, so I'm going to slow it down. So that's why people have to keep taking steroids if they're taking testosterone injections. What I am aiming to help you guys do is to actually naturally stimulate the production of it. Mavis Hill says, Sydney MGTOW, Pauline Hanson is pushing for an inquiry into bias against men in family courts. To any of you in Australia who have been fucked in the family courts and have not yet put in a submission to the family law inquiry about your experience, go to the Australian Brotherhood of Fathers website, right? Or the abf.com.au, or the abf.com, I think it is, the Australian Brotherhood of Fathers. Make sure you check out their video on how to submit a submission. Do it before the 18th. You have 3 days. And if you can't submit it in that time, you have to request an extension. Very, very important, guys. The Mad MGTOW says, I know plenty. I'm having lunch with one of them on Tuesday. I don't know if you're referring to feminists or someone else, or what the case is. Mad MGTOW, thank you for your comment. Flicking through here now. What else? Who else we got? Mavis Hill says, Owen Wilson pays $35,000 per month child support. Guys, this is the thing. Do you really want to be paying $35,000 a month in child support to someone who's just basically giving you a little bit of the peace leave, as Coach Greg Adams calls it, and then be like, oh, hey, I don't want to give you peace leave anymore, but you know what? You're going to pay me $35,000 a month in child support, and there ain't shit you can do about it. That's just it. $35,000 a month. And there's plenty of people. There was a chick called Brittany Renner, for any of you who have seen her before. She actually did an Instagram video where she's saying, you know, if you want to come across a check, you know, you can just hook up with an athlete. They're really dumb and they usually don't use condoms, right? And if they're not using condoms with thoughts that are in it for the status and the cash, then yeah, they are really dumb for not taking the proper precautions. Man, you need to protect yourself. And the Mad MGTOW was actually referring to a mate who's separated. So kudos to you, Mad MGTOW, for contacting a mate who's separated or not seeing his kids. I think it's really, really good that you're doing that. It helps guys in this Christmas, because Christmas is like hot season for suicides. Hot seasons for suicides. This is when the majority of suicides ramp up over Christmas, when guys are not seeing their kids over Christmas, when guys can't afford to even enjoy their Christmas break because they're being divorce raped with alimony, with child support, right? So this is something I really encourage you to do. And look, some of these guys are going to be sitting in a state of victimhood. They're going to be sitting in a state of victimhood. They're going to complain. They're going to whinge to you. But they need an outlet, guys. Because if they don't have an outlet, their only outlet is a gun to the head, is a knife to the throat, is ingestion of toxic substances that's going to end their life. So take a couple of hours out to take one for the team. Take one for team brotherhood. Right? Get in touch with your mates. Get in touch with guys that aren't even your mates, but that you know are going through a really hard time. Let them know that someone still gives a fuck about them. Because most of the time it's when men think that no one cares anymore, and that no one is left that gives enough of a shit about them to make time for them or help them. Because you know what? When I was going through tough times, there was a couple of brothers that were there for me, and I appreciated that so much. One of them was a guy called Stand Up Man, if any of you have seen him. He's a good guy. And many, many others. Many, many others. Just want to say thank you to Sash as well. Appreciate you, man. By the way, Various Mayhem says, pumpkin seeds are rich in zinc, which in turn is suppressing the conversion of testosterone into estrogen. A zinc-heavy diet is raising your testosterone level. Take care of yourself. That is true. So at Testosterone Valley, I've actually got an anabolic support complex rather than anabolic steroids. Anabolic means growth. All right. So in terms of physiology, it means growth. And it basically, what's in the supplement is all organic, and it's all a combination of things that are designed specifically to create the ideal conditions in the body for it to create its own natural testosterone production. Anyway, guys, if you want to donate, thank you to all of those who donated in the super chat. If you want to donate, head to paypal.me/SydneyMGTOW. You can head on over to Subscribestar or Patreon, and in fact, you can even send me an email to sydneymgtow@gmail.com for my US bank account or my Australian bank account details if you want to do directly, if that's something that you prefer. Whatever works for you guys, if you do want to. But if you just love the content, make sure you smash the thumbs up, share this, comment on the videos, and comment after the live streams. It all helps to get traction so that other people can see that they need to wake up, because MGTOW does save lives. It does help men to wake up from the slumber they've been in. I think it's really important that people do that. And God Botherer says, I'm going through a tough time and my best friend of 20 years isn't here for me. He's now going through a divorce and is too busy chasing new pussy. This is it, man. Stop simping, guys. Stop simping. By the way, God Botherer, let me know if you want to head down to Sydney for a beer, brother. I'll be happy to sit down with you. Reach out to me, man. I'll catch you later, guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.